Sharing screen. And there is a lot of information today. Whoops, I don't even know how I did that. Let me get us into the right course. All right, and then into the module. And as you see, week 9 is up already, and we're working on connotation and denotation, but I don't want to overwhelm you guys, and I am planning like a catch-up week, but it won't be until November because we are finishing, or because we did finish Tangerine. I'm sorry, we're finishing Tangerine this week, which means a couple of things. That means that your book report is coming up. However, you do have 3 weeks, so it's not due until October 23rd, and you can always send it to me ahead of time and have me look at it to make sure you guys are on the right track. But you do have a lot of choices in it. So we're going to go over that, and we're also going to go over our IN connotation and denotation today. So I just want to show you guys the week at a glance. And you look for today. All right, so we're going to go over our Tangerine project instructions. Again, not due until October 23rd, but I highly suggest you do not wait until the last minute. There are 2 parts to it. One is written and one is your project piece, and you guys get to choose. So we'll go over that today. We talked about ABRs a long time ago, ABR's alternative book report. We talked about them in the first couple of weeks of school, and we went over like what they are. And originally we were doing 4 in a semester, but just because of what's going on this semester, I just didn't think it was necessary. However, you will have at least 2. One for sure is on Tangerine, and the second one will be on the Odyssey because we read that before we go on winter break. And then after we go through that, we'll be looking at our IN for connotation and denotation. Then you guys have 7 pages to read in Tangerine, and you've got a few Tangerine questions for tonight. You do not have a lot of reading this week, and that's because we are right at the end of the book. So not a lot of questions, not a lot of reading. You are done reading on Wednesday, and because we're finishing reading the book, and because you guys just you're getting a project introduced to you this week, I am giving you a catch-up day on Thursday, which means no additional work. You may use that day however you need to, whether it means to catch up on work. If you are not missing not one thing in this class, then you can do the extra credit assignment, and that's only if you're not missing anything. If you are missing stuff, then that's what you need to focus on and not the extra credit. I'm not even going to grade it if you're missing anything in class. So make sure that you have everything else done, or you will not be able to submit the extra credit. And then you do have a quiz on Friday. It is on what we're going to be going over this week, which is connotation and denotation. And then next week, we're going to focus only on Tangerine. So I'll be giving you guys a study guide. And that's the only thing we're going to be working on all week is just Tangerine. Study guide stuff, catching up on Tangerine stuff, making sure that you guys have the time to read if you need to because you're behind, or whatever it is you need to do for Tangerine, including working on your project. And then the end of next week will be our Tangerine test, which is on everything Tangerine, which is why next week we're only looking at Tangerine and no new information. Meaning no interactive notebook stuff next week, just Tangerine stuff. And my cat is biting my toes. Okay, let's go ahead and look into the module. And you click on alternative book report. Okay, so just like I told you, there are 2 parts to the Tangerine book report, and I always call them ABRs because they're not a regular book report where you just write a bunch of stuff. It doesn't work like that. The first part is the ABR, which is the project part, and the second part is your synopsis, which is the written part. And so I've got examples of everything for you. Let's go into the ABR choices. You can actually click here, or you can click on the link that was above. Either one is fine. Whoops. I'm going to click here. Okay, I'm going to go into my other one. I will fix the links for you by the end of the day, but let me go ahead and show you. All right, so here are your choices for the project part. And you've got 10 different choices. And within those 10 choices, there's other choices in them. If you come up with something that you think will be really cool or that you want to do, check with me first if it's not on the list. And I'll let you know if it's acceptable or not. So first thing is a timeline of the novel. You can create a timeline of the novel, including 12 significant events. Each event must have a title, a description, and a picture. And I want you guys to use canva.com. If you don't like canva.com and you found another cool way to create a timeline, show it to me first. Tell me where it is, and if I like it, I'll tell you it's fine. I'm not too picky. I just know that the Canva timelines are really cool. So I've linked canva.com to this, specifically where they do timelines. And then I've also put in some timeline examples of what I would want it to look like. So I gave you 3 examples. This is what a Canva timeline would look like. And there's not enough in here because you'd need to have 12, and that's fine. Like, I created my syllabus using Canva. But see how each one has like a title and then a description and a picture. Here's a title, description, picture, title, description, picture, picture, title, description. So you could do it like this. However, this only has 4. Remember, you need to have 12 events. So that's why I said this is actually the best example right here, because it's got 11. So if you were to turn in something like this, it would look a lot closer to what a perfect square would be. So this is another example. The only thing wrong with this is it's missing 1 event. It only has 11 and you need 12. But see how each one has a title and then a short description and then a picture? So you would need to do a timeline like this for Tangerine. And the cool thing about Tangerine is we know exactly where things happen because it's a diary or journal entry. So you can actually put the dates of when things happen. Except for the prologue, you'd have to like make up some unknown date if you were going to use the prologue. And so these are what timeline looks like. Here's another one that has different kinds of pictures. The only problem is some of these are missing titles and or pictures. So like this one doesn't have a picture, this one doesn't really, but it does have 12. So both of these would be marked, actually all 3 would be marked down, but the closest to a perfect would be this one right here. Again, this is what Canva looks like. If you don't like the timeline idea, there's plenty more. You can create a storyboard, and there's a website and they have an app too that's called Storyboard That. You could download the app to your iPad or your phone and create it from there. If you're not good at drawing, you can use Storyboard That. If you're good at drawing, go for it. I just want to make sure that your storyboard lines up, meaning it looks neat. So for a storyboard, you have to create a series of 10 drawings in 10 squares, and each of the squares have to show a different significant event from the novel. Under each picture or cartoon, you have to have a few lines of explanation. Again, if you're not good at drawing, use Storyboard That. Word collage. This one has to be done on poster paper, and then to submit it to me, you're going to have to take a picture. You may need to take more than 1 picture just so I can see everything of it. But the word collage says, write the title of the book in the center of a poster paper. Then look through, Then look through magazines or newspapers for words, phrases, and sentences that illustrate or tell something about your book. As you look, think in terms of the theme, setting, plotline, as well as characters. You need to have at least 75 such words, phrases, or sentences, and the poster needs to be completely covered. The visual impact when you're done should really tell anybody who hasn't read Tangerine all about Tangerine, or at least get them excited about it. Your third choice is to do a scrapbook or a photo album, and these have been really cool projects in the past where they've actually put together photo albums, because we are in this pandemic, I said that you can do an actual photo book or scrapbook, or you can do it in PowerPoint, and then just have your 10 pages in there too. And then just find your stuff. So again, got to have 10 pages. The next one is music. If you're really into music, you can make your own. So I've had students who have been in the band before and played their instrument and then use that and put their own music to it. Or you can find music that you like as long as it is appropriate. So that means no cussing, no bad words, no WAP. Not like that would actually go with Tangerine anyway. But the instructions I put are: after reading a novel, figure out how you would divide up the book into sections. Then select a piece of music that you think captures the feel or tone of each section. Record the pieces and do voiceovers explaining what is happening in the novel during the piece of music and why you felt this piece of music fit the selection of the novel, the section of the novel. So because you have to divide up the book, Tangerine naturally is done for you because there are 3 parts. So you would need to have at least 3 different pieces of music. And when I say record the pieces, you can record yourself playing an instrument and then go back and do a voiceover explaining it, or you can record music from somewhere else, like on your phone, and then go back and like put them together. It's up to you how you want to do that. If you have any questions, just ask. I rarely will say no if you're being really genuine and creative about it. The next one is a character alphabet. So you would choose a character you liked from the novel and then create sentences based on the alphabet scheme, meaning like literally A, B, C, D, E, F. So this one would require 26 because there are 26 letters in the alphabet. And it's to demonstrate your knowledge of the character. So just as a sample, if after reading Spite Fences, you decided to write Zeke's alphabet, it could start like this. A is for the abuse Zeke took at the hands of a racist mob. B is for his bending over backwards to make sure the visiting civil rights activist could work in obscurity. C is for the camera he gave to Maggie. And it would go on and on until you get to Z. You just need to pick a character to do that. And probably Paul would be the easiest in Tangerine. And then 7 is a video. These have been some of the most fun videos or fun projects to see because I've had like twins, and one was in one period I had and one was in another period I had, and then they had like 3 other friends that had me in English and some friends that didn't, and they all got together and shot scenes of different parts of the book, meaning like they acted it out. So if you choose this one, I do not want you getting together with other people unless, say, you have a twin brother or sister that's in one of my classes. Then you guys could do that, and you could have your family act as parts in your video if you want. Once we go back to school, you'll have more of an opportunity to do the video parts. But for right now, if you choose the video, make sure that you are doing with just your family and people that you're quarantining with. For this one, you can do a video of a scene. You can create a PowerPoint. You could do a flash animation if you're good at doing those kind of things. Or you can create a movie trailer using iMovie, and a movie trailer would be based on the book. So I've had all different kinds of videos submitted to me. Be creative, basically, but it's got to be on a scene of the book, unless it's the movie trailer where you were like putting Tangerine in your own movie. And I'm forewarning you now, there are movies out there named Tangerine and they have nothing to do with what we read. So there is no movie based on this. So don't try to find something on the internet and assume that that's going to work, because it's not. Travel brochure. You can create a travel brochure of where the story takes place. In this particular case, it would be Tangerine County, Florida. And then make your readers want to visit this place. So you can totally be sarcastic and be like, visit Tangerine County, Florida, the only place where we have sinkholes and constant lightning that kills people. Like, you can be really funny about it. Or you can be super serious and say why you would want them to come visit Tangerine County. But in our case, a lot of bad things happen there. So it'd be funny to do a sarcastic version of a travel brochure. The next is a movie poster. you can create a movie poster based on the book, but you have to have all of the elements that a regular movie poster would have. This includes like the actors listed, the producers, the movie studio, and you can make them all up, but they have to be on your project. You need to look at an actual movie poster to do this. And then I want this created in canva.com. If you decide to do a movie poster and you find another place you want to create the movie poster, that's okay, but you need to check in with me first. Telling you right now, lots of people choose a movie poster, which is fine. However, I would say 75% of them do not put everything that a movie poster needs. So if you choose a movie poster and you're not sure what I'm talking about, you need to check in with me and ask me those questions. Look at a movie poster, an old school movie poster. And then I also left you the Canva logon for movie poster. So if you use Canva, it's going to prompt you to put in all of those things, which is why I'm saying use it. And by the way, everything I'm telling you guys to use is totally free. I'm not asking you to pay for anything. I even put in your Microsoft 365 logins. And then like if you have an iPad from school or an iPhone like I do, iMovies, I think it's just called Movie now, but it used to be called iMovie, so that's why I put it in there. It's free. You can just download it and use it. And then your last choice is creating a website for the book. And I will add in the student examples. My cat has lost his mind. Sorry, guys. Before the end of the day. But I have a couple of really good student examples from old students that I would like to add in. And I'll be putting it right here so you can see. But the easiest thing that they've ever used has been Weebly.com. If you decide you want to use a different web service because you're just more familiar with it, just check in with me before you do that, because the only one I've seen so far that's free and easy to use and looks just like a website should look is Weebly.com. Again, if you have an idea for something else, just talk to me about it. Inbox me about it. Tell me on Zoom that you want to talk to me before I dismiss everybody, and we'll go over it and make sure it's okay. My answer is usually yes, but you do need to check in with me. If you do not check in with me, it has to be one of these 10 options that I've given you. All right. Coming out of the options, the second thing you need to do is your synopsis. So you just click right there. And then I tell you exactly what has to be in the synopsis. I even created a template for you. You don't even have to put it together. I did it for you because it's always been an issue in the past. Now I've been in charge of ASB the past 3 years. So I just remembered, hey, this is what used to happen. So I put it in there for you. You have to have the following components in order to get full credit. Got to have the book title. For this particular one, everybody's the same. Got to have the author, got to have the publication date, the book genre, and this is the most important part, a brief synopsis of the plot. Then you need to rate the book 1 to 10, 10 being the best, and then write at least one paragraph telling me why you rated the book the way you did. So these are the formatting rules. You've got to have 1-inch margins. You got to have 12-point font, either Arial or Times New Roman. You need to have it single spaced except in between paragraphs, which is what I show you here. And then I actually made the synopsis template for you. Now there's a couple absolute rules. Number 1, you need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraphs. I gave you an extra one in your synopsis template, but you can delete it. You don't have to go over it, because one of the big absolute rules is you cannot go over a page. Period. I don't want 5 pages telling me, like, if I wanted to read the book, I would read the book. I want a synopsis. You cannot copy your synopsis, which is summary, from the internet. Why? Because this part of your project has to be turned in through turnitin.com. It will check to make sure that you did not just copy and paste from the internet. This has to be your summary or synopsis of Tangerine. You cannot copy from the internet. I did in this case because I wanted to give you an example. So this is what it should look like without these lines around the edges. And then you see my book rating at the bottom, and you see why I rated it that way. And I actually did a movie instead of a book because I wanted to give you an example of something that you couldn't do for your project, if that makes sense. Now, if you click here, you can literally open up a perfectly set up synopsis page for yourself, and everything's in here. So you've got, all you got to do is click here and change the book and all of these things, and then your synopsis is set up too. It is in a chart, not a chart, a table format, and I did that on purpose. So you see that your paragraphs, I've already indented them for you, and when you get to the second line, it'll push it back out here. Make sure that you leave at least one space in between each of your paragraphs. I've set it up for you like that. And then I've got your book rating down here in the last part of your table. You don't even see the table lines because I purposely made them clear, but this is what has to be in there. Do you have to use this? No. Would it help you to not forget certain things? Yep. And that's why I put it there. It's just a resource. Doesn't mean you have to do it. You do not have to have these lines around the outside. I did that just because I like decorating things. And in the past, I have seen students think they have to have that. You don't need to have these dotted lines. That's it. It was just there because I thought it was cute when I created it. You don't need to put that. Okay, going back. And then I also put in your rubrics, which we can go over later. I'll probably go over those like later in the week when we have a moment, or next week. But you can definitely go over your rubrics at any time. And I put them here too. This is the exact rubric I use to grade your project. And then if you click on this, you'll see not only the project rubric, you'll also see the synopsis rubric of how I grade things. So in the synopsis rubric, it'll say stuff about absolute rules. That means do not pass more than one page. Do not write more than 6 paragraphs. And that you do need to have those 6 paragraphs. I will be adding in some more synopsis information this week because I think I have the absolute rules written down. So I'll find them and put them in here for you guys. If you have any questions at any time, don't hesitate to ask or just inbox me about it. I will help you through. But just as a reminder, this ABR and project is due October 23rd. Do not wait until the last minute. It will mess your grade up. This project is the only project so far that we've had. And so 200 points looks like a lot, but really it's a whole heck of a lot for you guys because there is no other project that we've done. So if you get an A on this, it will dramatically bring your grade up because projects are worth 20% of your grade, and we have 0 in there right now. It's not dragging you down. It's not pulling you up. So you want to do the best that you can right here because it will bring your grade up, or it has the probability, not the probability, it also has the power to bring your grade way down 20%. So say you have 100% right now and you don't turn it in at all, it'll bring you all the way down to 80%, which is a low B. Nobody has 100%. So say you have a B right now, it will bring you down to a D if you don't do it at all. So you need to make sure that you get that done. Okay. Just like usual. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I think I did it in the other one. I am removing the reading log this week. Give you guys a break. Oh no, I did do it and I just took it out of a different class. Oh well. I did take it out of yours. Sorry. All right, let's go ahead and look in your class. So that you do know, I did already remove the reading log from your class this week. I just did it from the wrong class right now. All right, so let's go ahead and look in our IN connotation versus denotation. And so you guys know I actually color these in with my iPad and then put them in here. I wanted it to have different shades. You guys go ahead and open up the PowerPoint version or the Google version, whichever you're more comfortable with. I'm going to go ahead and open it up on my laptop. Okay, I'll give you a second to catch up to me. So when we're in class, we actually talk about connotation a lot, and we're doing totally different stuff since we're online right now. But the reason that I've got these colors in different shades and it goes from light to medium to dark is because we do this whole thing that I like to call shades of connotation, and you're going to understand that in a moment. So make sure you know the difference between denotation and connotation, which is what we're going to go over right now. So denotation is simple. It's what you already know. It is a dictionary definition of a word, the literal meaning. So we're going to write that in right here. Dictionary definition of a word, the literal meaning. So if you wanted to know a word's denotation, you literally look it up in a dictionary, or you type in Google define denotation or whatever the word is, and whatever it gives you is the denotation, the dictionary definition. Now, connotation is what we're going to be looking at this week. So connotation is the feelings that the word invokes. So something may have a synonym or a word that is very similar to the denotation, but it's not appropriate to use because of its connotation. So let's go ahead and write right here what connotation is. So connotation is the feelings, usually positive or negative, that a word invokes in addition to its literal meaning. And I'm going to make this a little bigger too. And the reason I did that is a couple of reasons. So the dictionary definition is kind of like the boring one, right? So it's got basic words. It's a little smaller. And then the connotation, I changed the font to be a little bit more fun and bigger. And that's because that's what connotation is. So we're going to go over some different examples, all right? So let's use the word grin. And we know that grin is like a type of smile, right? But if you want to make it more positive, like, oh, he's grinning, it could just be like the shape of his mouth, right? But if you want it to be positive, which is why I have these pluses here, you would say smile, right? What if we wanted to change grin to negative? Then instead, like, there's a total difference in meaning when you say, oh, he's standing over there with a big smile. Then if I said, he's standing over there with a smirk is a type of a grin. It's a type of smile. But when you say smirk, it's got like a kick to it. It's got like a negative connotation to it, meaning it's not a positive thing. So the negative side would be smirk. And I just want to show you what I mean real quick. So let's go into Google. Hopefully nothing weird comes up. You never know. And I'm going to put in smile. Right? So smile is just like her, okay? Nice, happy. But when we put in grin, it could be very close to smile. It could be like this. We don't necessarily know if this is like, yay, happy, or just smile because it's a picture, right? Okay, like this is a great example. This is a grin. There's no negative or positive connotation. Like, I don't know if that's a real smile or if he's being like facetious. It's just a grin. But this right here is a smile. Lots of teeth, happy. You can tell she's happy. Now let's put in smirk. All right, here's one right here. Good one. See how it's kind of like his eyes look evil, but he does have the shape of a grin. It doesn't necessarily mean it's good. So like, here's another one. This character right here. See how the eyes don't match? If you were to cover the eyes and then add some teeth, it would be a smile. But because it looks like mischievous, it becomes a smirk, right? So those are just some examples why smirk has a negative connotation. All right, let's go back into our notes and do another example. So another example is the word young. I think my cat lost his mind. Young is just in reference to age, just somebody who's young, not old, right? Will you stop? Okay, so a positive synonym for young would be youthful. And you see that a lot in like a face cream commercial, like it makes you feel youthful if you use this cream. But people can use young in a negative way too. Like you're just too young to do this. And a word that has a negative connotation is childish. We don't say you're just acting young. If they want to put a negative spin on it, they would say, oh, you're acting childish, right? And so all of these are similar. They're all synonyms, but this is a positive connotation. This one's neutral, and this one's negative. And then the last word sample I'm going to use is economical. Economical. And that has to do with money, right? Economical is like being sensible about your money. So a positive would be you like to save money or you like to coupon. And so a positive way to say that would be thrifty. Thrifty. But it's super easy to come up with a negative one. Like, oh my God, this woman's at the market with all her coupons. She is so cheap. I like to use coupons. I would much rather be called thrifty than cheap, but they mean the same thing, right? If you look them up in the dictionary, they're all going to be synonyms. It all depends on how you're going to use it, okay? So economical means you like to save money. Positive, thrifty. Negative, cheap. All right, those are some great examples, and we're going to leave it at that today. Don't forget that you guys do have a little bit of reading in Tangerine. You are finishing the book by Wednesday. You got a couple of questions tonight. Before I let you guys go, does anybody have any questions about what you're doing today or about anything we talked about today? Okay, guys, start thinking about what you want to do for your project because it is due in 3 weeks on October 23rd. So that's the week before Halloween week. And then that week after is something the school is doing. It's like a tutoring week kind of thing. I don't think they put it out to everybody yet. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Have a great rest of your day. As always, if you have any questions, just send me a message. I'll talk to you later.